My best fragrance pickups in the month of July. Hey guys, I'm George, the nice smelling gentleman, and it's time for your dose of some fragrance content. It's also time to take a look back at the month of July and all the good fragrances that I picked up in that past month. Now, July was quite a dynamic month and I added quite a few fragrances to my collection. Some of them I bought, a few of them I received for free, and the video will contain quite a lot of fragrances, and I'm not going to get in too much specificness about each and every one, otherwise the video will end up being too long. And I'm going to start with the Branta for a g.o.a.t Prestige, and I'm going to start with a few fragrances that I actually received for free. If you have watched my video last week where I showed you this huge PR package that I received from the Branta for a g.o.a.t Prestige, that package included a total of 14 fragrances, and I just have not tested all 14 of them properly, so I can include them in this video today. And some of those fragrances that were included in that PR package I had already bought before receiving the PR package, but still a few of those fragrances that were in that PR package were new to my collection, and I'm going to start with those. There are a total of 3 of them. The first one is called Fahad Gaze. I've talked about this one a few times. I've not done the full review on this one yet, but the full review is coming up along with the other 2 as well that I'm going to show you. Fahad Gaze is a clone of Gucci Guilty Elixir, and it's a high quality clone of Gucci Guilty Elixir, but it's a clone with a twist. I pick up more sweetness in this one, more powderness than the original fragrance, maybe the addition of an almond note as well. But overall the quality is really nice as everything else from the Branta for a g.o.a.t Prestige, and also the performance is quite good. The other 2 share pretty similar bottle design and names as well. They're called Kisat Al Najah Nedawi and Kisat Al Najah Kemichi. One of them is a masculine fragrance, this one, the black one. This is a clone of YSL Y Elixir. Again, I've not reviewed this one yet, but I'm going to do it pretty soon because I think this also deserves its own review. It's a clone with a twist, a clone with a fresher twist of YSL Y Elixir. The opening is a little bit different, the dry down is very close. Again, good quality, really good quality, and good performance. And this next one, I've been testing this one in the past couple of weeks. This is a clone of Byredo's Rouge Chaotic, but it's not strictly a direct clone of Rouge Chaotic. Again, I'm going to do a separate video on this one because I find it a very interesting fragrance. I don't have too much experience with the original. This definitely reminds me of the original, but the opening also reminds me of a few other fragrances, most specifically Oud Maracuja from Maison Crivelli, and it's a very interesting, quite unique smelling fragrance. Again, a very nice quality, and this one also has strong performance. So these were the 3 that I received for free. The other 2 are g.o.a.t Prestige fragrances that I'm going to include in today's video. Again, look pretty similar to each other. They're called Kohol Luminous and Kohol Opulence. Luminous is a clone of God of Fire, a clone with a twist, and a clone that I actually like a lot more than the original fragrance. This is more ambery, sweeter, slightly less fresh than the original fragrance, smoother than the original fragrance, feels less synthetic than the original fragrance, and offers better performance than the original fragrance. And this is a very nice scent. I've included another fragrance that smells very similar to this one. I'm going to show it a little bit later. Kohol Opulence is a clone of Ex Nihilio's Blue Talisman, and just like the other one, I like this more than the original. I've always found the original to be a little bit too shower jelly, a little bit leaning to the feminine side, a little bit too summery and light in the air for my personal taste. But Kohol Opulence actually takes care of those gripes that I have with the original, because this has more sweetness, it has less freshness, it has almost none of that shower jelly vibe that I pick up out of the original, and this has the inclusion of the note of leather, which adds a touch of masculinity, and the overall result is really nice. Again, I like this one more than the original, and just like the other one, this also performs better than the original. Next, let's move on to the brand of French Avenue. Again, I've added quite a few French Avenue scents in the past month, and I'm going to include 4 of them in today's video. The first one is part of the Aromatics line, and it's called Platin Blanc, and this is a very nice freshie that turned out to be surprisingly good for my taste. I'm not the biggest fan in the world of fresh scents, but this one I really like a lot. This one smells a lot like Torino 21, but it has a bit of a minty, a bit of sort of like a cocktail twist to the scent itself. A very nice fresh fragrance with some greenness, with freshness, with nice amount of sweetness, and also this one has pretty good performance considering that it's a fresh scent. It's the newest member in the aromatics line, and I ended up liking this one quite a lot, and mainly I was surprised by the performance of this one. Again, for a fresh scent, this performs really nicely. The next one is called Vulcan Few. This smells a lot like God of Fire and like Cochel Luminous. Again, we're talking about the clone of God of Fire. This smells closer to God of Fire than Cochel Luminous, and this is a great fragrance on its own, as long as you like the note of mango. I'm personally not the biggest fan in the world of neither mango or God of Fire, but out of the few clones of God of Fire that I've tried, this one probably smells the closest to the original fragrance. And again, just like the one from g.o.a.t Prestige, this offers better performance than the original fragrance, and it's great value for money as long as you can find it for the right price. My advice will be, don't overpay for this one. Sometimes this can go for crazy high prices. I think a fair price of somewhere between $50 to $60, around about 50-55 euros, is the best price to pay for this fragrance. Good fragrance on its own, and a good clone of God of Fire. The next one is called Amber Saffron. This fragrance has been around for a while, but I just recently had the chance to add it to my collection, and this smells really unique. I think this is not a clone of anything. This is a unique creation from the brand of French Avenue. This smells like saffron, as the name would suggest, very heavy on the saffron note, which has really nice quality in the opening. This has a leather note, it has some agar oud, it has some ambery sweetness, all around a very unique fragrance that I personally like a lot. Now, the opening can be a bit challenging for some people because of the combination of saffron, leather and agar oud, but that lasts for maybe half an hour. After that, this becomes softer, it becomes sweeter and easier to wear. But I like even the opening as well. Really good fragrance. Again, great performance. Projection is not the best one in the world, but total longevity is really good on this one. The problem is that this usually is quite expensive. I personally was able to pick it up for something like 35 euros or 40 euros, so around about $50. If you can find it at that price point, if you like dark challenging scents with heavy on the saffron and leather and agar oud notes, this is a good fragrance, a really good fragrance. And the last one from French Avenue that I've included in today's video is called Fertile Luna, and this is a clone of Naxos, and as soon as I smell it, I really fall in love again with the scent. I absolutely love Naxos, one of my most favorite fragrances all time, and I was really waiting for a good Middle Eastern clone of Naxos to finally emerge, and French Avenue have done it. Again, just like some other fragrances I showed so far, this is a little bit pricey at the moment, around about 55-60 euros, $60-70. Which is a little bit too much for my taste, but the scent itself is really nice, smells very close to Naxos itself, offers really nice quality, and the performance is almost as good as Naxos. So if you like Naxos, this is the best Middle Eastern option right now. I forgot to mention one more French Avenue fragrance, which is called Zenith Blue. And this one is a clone of Dior Sauvage EDT with a twist, slightly fresher, more citrusy opening than Dior Sauvage EDT. I was really surprised by this fragrance. I didn't expect that a major Middle Eastern brand will actually release a brand new clone of Sauvage EDT in 2025, but here we are with the Zenith Blue. I love the original Sauvage. I know it's a love or hate type of a fragrance. Personally, for me, it's a love, and Zenith Blue is a great alternative. The opening is slightly different, the dry down is very similar. Super versatile fragrance that you can wear throughout the year, good quality, apart from the first few seconds when it feels a little bit too synthetic in my opinion, but other than that the quality is good and the performance is also good. Next, let's move on to two fragrances from the brand of Lattafa. One of them I have reviewed already, and it's called G.o.a.t Frusan Untamed. This one smells a lot like Versace Eros Najim. So if you like Versace Eros Najim, this is I think the only Middle Eastern option at the moment. Smells pretty similar to the original fragrance. It's like taking Versace Eros but dressing it up a little bit, making it a little bit more mature, not so playful and youthful and fruity. This one has more ambery sweetness, and G.o.a.t Frusan smells very similar to Versace Eros. In the opening, this maybe even projects a little bit better because it's slightly stronger and sweeter. Overall, the performance is slightly, lower than what you'll find with the original fragrance, but still this is a good option if you're looking for a Versace Eros Najim clone. The next one from Lattafa is something that I just recently added to my collection. I'm not going to talk too much about it because I've not yet reviewed it. It's not gone through my full process of testing, but it's an interesting scent. It's part of the Niche Emirati line and it's called Classic Stone. It has this bottle that looks like a bug, maybe. Without the cap, doesn't look too bad, but with the cap on, it looks like a bug. And this is a very interesting scent that may remind you a lot of something like Parfum de Marly's Altair, but this is like a more niche version of Altair. That's as much as I'm going to say about this one, because again, I want to reserve all my thoughts for the full review, which is coming up probably at the end of this week or early on next week. Very good quality, very strong performance, and a very interesting scent profile. The next one that I'm going to mention is called Hawasi Elixir, and Hawas Elixir, Rosasi Hawas Elixir, sorry. And this one is one of the very best clones of Le Mot Elixir, Jean Paul Gaultier's Le Mot Elixir that you can get right now. Smelling very similar to the original fragrance, maybe feeling slightly less aromatic in the opening. The dry down feels a little bit more gourmand. I think this has a chocolate note on its dry down, something that you won't find in the original fragrance, but in the air smells very similar to Le Mot Elixir. Super nice quality and superb performance, almost as strong as the original fragrance, and in my opinion this is one of the very best clones of Le Mot Elixir. So if you don't already own a Le Mot Elixir clone, this is definitely a contender, one of the options that you should explore in my opinion. And I'm going to finish off today's video with 5 fragrances from the brand of Fragrance World. Now, 3 of them I talked about yesterday, and I did sort of a review or a quick look at all of them. They look pretty funny, they look like boxing gloves. They're all part of the same series, which is called Champion, and they're called Champion Sugar, Champion Gold, and Champion Money. And they're an interesting clones with a twist, all 3 of them. Champion Sugar smells a lot like Creed Aventus and Creed Aventus Absolute, like a mix between the 2 Creed Aventuses, but with some additional, I would say, sort of like sugary sweetness added to the scent profile. So this fragrance carries the versatility of both original fragrances, maybe slightly less versatile than the original Creed Aventus, and it's slightly different than both Creed Aventus and Creed Aventus Absolute, while carrying a lot of the same spirit. It's a nice, versatile, masculine fragrance that has good quality, good performance, and will get you compliments for sure. Again, a pretty versatile fragrance. The next one, which is called Champion Money, this smells a lot like Rosasi Hawas Elixir, because this is a clone of Le Mot Elixir as well, but it's a clone with a twist. This one feels like having less of the tobacco note, like having less of the minty note in the opening, with maybe a touch of a fruity sweetness on its dry down, less of the honey sweetness. This overall feels slightly less sweet and less sticky than the original fragrance, slightly lighter in the air without being too aromatic, like a more fruity take on the original scent. Again, nice quality and good performances. This is also another fragrance that is a compliment getter. And the third one, which is called Champion Goat, this is a very interesting mix that probably ended up being my favorite one out of all 3 fragrances. This reminds me very heavily of YSL Why Myself, but with added fruity sweetness. So it's like a sweeter take on YSL Myself. And in a way, in the opening and the sort of a mid-dry down, this also reminds me a little bit of Versace Eros, without being a clone of Versace Eros. The deep dry down, this again gets closer to YSL Myself. But it's an interesting modern smelling fragrance that again is a compliment getter, and it's a crowd pleaser. All 3 have good quality and good performance. Probably the best performing one on my skin has been this one, the gold one. The only thing that I don't like about these fragrances, apart from the tacky bottle design, is the fact that they come in an 80 ml bottle size. And the last 2 fragrances that I'm going to mention in today's video, again both of them come from Fragrance World, are called Nightclub and Nightclub Absolute. And again, we're talking about Creed Aventus style of fragrances. Nightclub is an interesting fragrance that the name translated into French will sound like Club de Nuit, and along with the bottle design, which is in a way similar to a famous fragrance from the brand of our mouth, which is called Club de Nuit, Intense Man. you can pretty much imagine how this one smells. This is a clone of Creed Aventus, and it's a sort of a slap in the face of our mouth in a way, because you know, it carries the name of their best-selling fragrance. And in my opinion, this offers better quality than the current batches of Club de Nuit Intense Man EDT. To my nose, this smells a little bit closer to Intense Man EDP, offers really good quality scent-wise, smells very similar to Creed Aventus, and also the performance is quite good, and it's super versatile, masculine, easy to wear fragrance that will get you compliments. The other one, Nightclub Absolute, is a clone of Creed Aventus Absolute, and this is a straight up clone of Creed Aventus Absolute, so getting the Creed Aventus spirit, but darker, more fruity, sweeter, less fresh and mossy than the original fragrance. Again, very nice quality, good performance, although I found the original Nightclub to be better performing, both when it comes to total longevity and when it comes to projection. Nightclub Absolute still is a good performer, but also this projects, in my opinion, is the closest thing to Creed Aventus Absolute that you can get right now. I've tried a couple of other Middle Eastern clones, and all those other clones are clones with a twist, where this one is trying to be more a straight up clone of Creed Aventus Absolute, and it also is a very likable fragrance. I only ended up being slightly disappointed by the performance. So guys, in today's video I showed you a total of 18 fragrances I consider to be my best affordable fragrance pickups in the month of July. I hope that you found today's video interesting. If you did, give it a like, and I also hope that you're going to join me in my next video for your dose of some fragrance content. And until then, stay safe and bye bye.